What is up, my dashing dudes and darling dames? I am the Hans TV, and welcome back to the only subreddit that lives in absolute hilarity. It's r/StoriesAboutKevin. Our first post for today comes from Kyvira. I dated a Kevin, who thought Canada was a third world country. Hey all, this is my first post in this sub. From 2015 to 2018, I dated and lived with an abusive Kevin. Here are some short highlights of our time together. He claimed to be a mechanic and loved everything about trucks, but he put water in my gas tank to make it go further. When I panicked and called my father to help, he accused me of not understanding how cars work. He told me we could live with his aunt when his aunt really told him he could watch the house for a week while they were away for hospital treatments. We then had a very awkward 2 days of me asking why everyone was so frustrated with us. He adopted a dog who was advertised as highly aggressive due to being from a dogfighting ring and tried to sleep in the same bed as it the first night. He got bit in his sleep. His fault really, not the dog's. He once showed me a slapped together, obviously satire video of Obama that made him say stuff like, "I did 9/11," while his entire background and appearance would change with each word and claimed it was proof he was a criminal. He thought he could outrun his mother's greyhound. They never see the dog again after that, sadly. He once turned the stove on without clearing it off and went to the bathroom because it doesn't heat up that fast. It started a fire. Thankfully, I'm the child of 2 firefighters, so I handled it. He had left cardboard food boxes on the element and he had turned it on. His bank account got hacked 3 times because he kept falling for phishing emails. He was 22. And yes, he once looked me right in the eye and asked me, "Is Canada a third world country?" I guess the best thing you could say about him is that he stuck to his guns and kept asking the stupid questions. I mean, that's a positive in some light. Our next post comes from Roboto Dog, my Kevin twin brother who messed up putting a pizza in the oven. This was around a year or 2 ago. I think junior year in high school, so he should be somewhat aware of how to put a pizza into an oven. My mom got some frozen pizza or Papa Murphy's or something like that for us to eat for dinner. She put it on the counter and told my brother to put it in 7 or so because she'd be out with friends and she wanted us to be able to eat dinner. The one thing she told him was to not put the cardboard in the oven. Simple and easy to follow. She even told him twice afterwards so Kevin wouldn't forget. Now to the catastrophe. He put the cardboard in the oven. Not a huge deal really, but under that was a ceramic plate, which was considerably smaller than the pizza and cardboard. He would have had to purposefully have thought to put the plate with the cardboard in the oven. On top of that, he put in my mom's new kitchen scale, the electronic ones, to weigh ingredients, which the plate was on. Again, this was considerably smaller than the plate, and I honestly don't know what he was thinking when he put it in the oven. My mom's boyfriend came home when the pizza was cooking and went into the kitchen, realized what Kevin did. The scale, which was brand new, was melted and the oven was just a mess. He got off pretty light somehow, and I think was just yelled at for being a Kevin. But I just don't understand how you can put not only a pizza, the cardboard he was told to not put in, a plate, and a scale that are considerably smaller than the pizza itself into an oven without realizing what's wrong with putting all that shit in the oven with the pizza. He says that he didn't know he put that other stuff into the oven, but that's an extra 2 inches to put into the oven. And he'd have to grab the scale, not the pizza, when putting it into the oven. To be honest, I thought this was going to be another fire story. I thought he was going to have left the plastic on it or something, or that the cardboard was going to catch on fire just because of the heat. I'm kind of glad it wasn't, but at the same time I feel bad for your parents because, you know, those things are expensive. Like, really expensive. Our next post comes from Fox Zealot. Kevin, the dude who lies too much. Okay. So I have a friend that's a total Kevin. He'll do all the things a Kevin would do, but the trait that annoys me about him is lying too much. He'll lie about his parents, his house, having a girlfriend, etc. Here are some of my favorites. Yeah, my parents make like $500,000 once a week. His dad is a police officer and his mom is a stay-at-home mom. I'm sorry, I can't hang today. My girlfriend and I are gonna have some fun. He's single and can't find a girlfriend because he's too annoying and has really bad hygiene. Yeah, I live in a mansion, have a butler and a pool. Yeah, you guessed it. They live in an apartment. Okay, but this one lie made one of my friends snap. So it was a Sunday morning and I was inside with my cousin. Let's call him C1. Okay, so I was inside with C1. Then suddenly we hear, hey, can I come inside? It was Kevin and we had to let him in or he'd break the door. Fortunately, he had one of my friends with him, so it's not going to be that much of a bad day. Let's call him F1. So, it starts out as a normal Sunday. We play some Skywars on MCPE, watched a bit of Reddit stories, and then here is when Kevin starts lying. Yeah, this channel is pretty weak compared to mine. C1 said, yo, do you have a channel? Yeah. Kevin opens up his YouTube and shows up his channel, who has 62 subs. We watched one of his videos and cringed till our faces looked like we were gonna puke. And the most cringe thing is he uses the generic Minecraft YouTuber slang like, yo, this noob thinks he can kill a pro like me, and then dies. So we just ignored it. Then C1 talked about his girlfriend, and F1 joined in with I have a girlfriend, but didn't want to join in, and of course, Kevin had to join in. He said, yeah, my girlfriend and I do the nasty all the time. F1 said, bro, you don't have a girlfriend. Yeah, I do. She's your girlfriend because she's cheating on you. And I said, in my mind, well, I'm gonna see a dude get shot. F1 got so tilted that he punched Kevin square in the face. He went home running and crying. And that's the last time we saw Kevin. To me, this Kevin sounds insecure about his life. Making up stories like, oh, I live in a mansion. Oh, my parents make this much money. Is generally because they see those things in TV or in other people and they want to feel that way. But that does not excuse the idiocy of saying, my girlfriend is your girlfriend because she's cheating on you. Yeah, that's a good way to get your face punched in, dude. This next post comes from Midnight Ballad. Kevin thinks because I said something should work, that means that it will work. Yeah, no. Happy New Year, Redditors. I entered 2020 unemployed, but entered 2021 with a job at last. Yay! I'm about 2 weeks into this job, and wouldn't you know it, I already have a story to tell. I work at a warehouse store as a cashier. I knew the basics since I have prior experience with the register and am steadily learning their system with help from some of the coolest coworkers I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Anywho, this Kevin comes up with a bunch of items, and I put on my unseen smile and start ringing things up. Double checking duplicate items so I don't overcharge him by accident. Making friendly chit chat to keep things lively. All that good stuff. He goes to get one more item while I scan his items in the meantime, and he goes to pay. Kevin goes to the pin pad to make the purchase and asks if he can have a receipt emailed to him. Since a prompt always came up on the pin pad for customers to enter their emails to get a receipt, I told him it would be no problem. I had no reason to believe it wouldn't. Well, when the transaction finished, a paper copy prints out. It does that no matter what option customers pick, with no prompt for an emailed receipt. Kevin asks, what's the deal? And I didn't know, as this never happened to me before. I go through the options on my screen to see if there was anything I can do, but there wasn't. I checked the paper receipt with no avail. So I was confused and asked the manager on duty for help. At this point, Kevin is getting a serious attitude with me, practically calling me a liar for telling him it would let him get an email receipt. I repeatedly told him how I thought it would because I never had that problem before, so naturally I expected it to work. My word isn't set in stone. Technology will do what it wants whether we like it or not. Anyway, I explained the situation to the manager, and she pointed out he was a member of a certain credit card holder group to the store, something I didn't know until now, and that these users always received emailed receipts with every purchase through the store. Kevin wasn't buying that and tried getting in my face for saying it would work when, again, I expected it to since it did before. I was borderline from chucking my nice cheerful persona out the damn door and telling this anal orifice where he can stick it. Probably the anal orifice. All I was able to get out was how technology doesn't always do what we want it to. It's like your car working fine one day and the next day it doesn't. Sometimes, shit happens, dude. Nothing anyone can do about it except deal with it as it happens. Case in point, him. Luckily, the manager had no problem letting him have it. Told him since he's a whatever card holder, the receipt was emailed, and how no piece of technology, namely our pin pads and registers, is 100% guaranteed to work all the time. He got what he asked for, just not in the way he expected. Still, he wasn't having any of it, saying he would call corporate and complain about employees lying to him. My manager just shrugged and basically told him, in my own words here, go right ahead. You got what you wanted, and there's nothing I or OP can do for you. But if you want to bitch and moan some more, customer service is right over there. They'll happily tell you the same thing. Dude gives me an FU glare and goes to customer service. Now, this is a massive store, and customer service is more than halfway across the store from my register. I could see and practically hear Kevin drilling into the lady trying to help him. I felt I owed her an apology for dealing with this crap, but he brought it on himself for thinking I was goddess of technology and could make it obey my will. I wish. Why he didn't even check his email to see if the receipt was there, I'll never know. And I really don't care to know. That is one level of buttholery I refuse to demean myself by leveling down to. Be nice to customer service workers, people. Unwarranted rudeness only makes your day a whole lot worse than it already is. And we revel in that for the finger-licking good karma that it is. Have a great day, tip your waitress/rater, and don't sully the vibe. There's people in the comments who are saying, oh, this isn't Stories About Kevin. I think it is. Simply because this guy, whenever you sign up for this credit card or whatever it was, the store card, it tells you exactly what comes with that. So say you buy this card, it'll tell you you're going to get your emails, you're going to get your receipts emailed, whatever. Well, you should know that. Also, at this point, pretty much everyone has their email easily accessible on their phone. So why didn't the Kevin just check the email? I guess the world may never know. Our photo post for today comes from Bucket832. Kevin, the weird kid at school. So, back in 7th grade, there was this weird kid, Kevin, who just did stuff weird. He'd aggravate an older boy until he got beat up, then he'd do it again. There were a few more good stories about Kevin, but this is my favorite. It may not even be true because he told it, but this story was probably true because Kevin would never lie, and he would do crazy things like this. So, Kevin was one of the few kids in my grade to live in this particular city. It was a pretty large city, and I don't know why he chose to go to our school. So, Kevin was walking around with his friends in the local strip mall when he notices a big door that says employees only. Kevin couldn't resist the door and went into the back of the store. He saw a huge jacket and a fedora and had to try it on. After walking around with the oversized jacket, Kevin saw some employees. To get their attention, he shouted, "Get out of my swamp!" It was from Shrek. When the employee saw him, Kevin ran for the door, forgetting that with the clothes on, he was stealing. Kevin was chased by the employees until he ran into a Five Guys. Kevin hid in the bathroom and the employees waited outside. They were going to wait there, so to deter them, Kevin began making farting noises, and they left. I know this sounds fake, and I didn't believe Kevin when he told me this, but he never lied, and he is the type of person to do this. Kevin says he did return the stolen clothes later. Unfortunately, there are idiots like this out there. I mean, just look at what's been going on. There are people out there who will literally go out in public, take off all their clothes, and just run around. So this story, not so unbelievable, but it is funny. Well, alright, my dashing dudes and dames, that is going to do it for today's episode of r/Stories About Kevin. I hope you liked the stories, and if you did, I'm going to link them in the description as always. And if you liked the video, subscribe, share, drop a like, and a comment down below with what you'd like to see me read next. A humongous thank you to everyone who continues to subscribe to my channel and continues pushing my content out there. I cannot thank y'all enough for what y'all do, and I cannot wait to see where this journey takes us this coming year. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.